Hello friends, today we are going to discuss regarding resistant hypertension. Coming to definition first. So, if the blood pressure remains above the target despite of taking three antihypertensive drugs of three different classes, out of which one being a diuretic at optimal doses or maximal tolerated doses, or if patient requires four different antihypertensive drug in order to control blood pressure, then we label the patient to have resistant hypertension. Now, coming to diagnostic criteria. So, if the blood pressure is more than 140 by 90 mmHg, despite of taking three antihypertensive drugs of or three different classes, in which one being a diuretic at maximum tolerated doses. Now, why is it important? It is important because it increases cardiovascular risk. It increases the risk of patient developing certain complications such as retinopathy, stroke, left ventricular hypertrophy, left ventricular failure, renal failure. It often denotes secondary causes of hypertension, and early detection can prevent end organ damage. Now, coming to different types of resistant hypertension. First is pseudo resistant hypertension. Second is true resistant hypertension. Coming to pseudo resistant hypertension first. In this type, the blood pressure is often elevated, it appears high. However, it is not truly resistant. That means it is basically due to improper BP measurement and poor adherence to therapy. And once these reversible causes are corrected, then blood pressure can be controlled. Causes may include: number one, incorrect BP measurement. So, if there is incorrect cuff size. Second, white coat hypertension. So, in white coat hypertension, patient develops high BP reading due to anxiety. So, in such a scenario, patient needs to undergo 24-hour ambulatory BP monitoring. Number three, poor adherence to antihypertensive therapy. Number four, suboptimal therapy. Number five, due to certain lifestyle changes. For example, excess salt intake, excess consumption of alcohol, etc. And last, drug interference. For example, certain drugs. For example, NSAIDs, steroid, oral contraceptive agent. Now, coming to true resistant hypertension. In true resistant hypertension, blood pressure is often elevated above the target level despite of taking three or more antihypertensive agent, one being a diuretic at optimal doses, in which there is proper adherence to therapy and BP measurement is accurate. Causes may include: number one, secondary causes for hypertension, that is renal parenchymal disease, renal artery stenosis, primary hyperaldosteronism, Cushing syndrome, pheochromocytoma, thyroid disorders, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, obstructive sleep apnea, and then coarctation of aorta. Then, due to volume overload in chronic kidney disease. Then, in certain patients, when there is a sympathetic overactivation, for example, in patients with anxiety and obstructive sleep apnea, in certain patients who are elderly in which there is arteriosclerosis. Now we will go through approach in a patient with resistant hypertension. So step number 1, we have to accurately measure the blood pressure. In this, we have to take proper BP measurement. We have to take more than 2 readings in both the arms. It should be taken. Second, we should exclude white coat hypertension in such patient. Step number 3, we should try to ensure adherence of patient to antihypertensive therapy. Step number 4, we should try to find out the reversible causes, lifestyle related causes. For example, excess salt intake or excess alcohol intake, and we should try to ask patient to undergo lifestyle modification. That is, salt intake should be less than 2 grams per day. Patient should stop alcohol consumption and he should stop smoking. Then weight control, regular aerobic physical activity, and treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. Now we will go through next step in which patient is supposed to undergo basic investigation. So there are 2 purposes of investigation. First, to identify the cause of hypertension. Second, to assess end organ damage. So common investigations that are required in a patient with resistant hypertension may include: number 1, serum electrolyte; number 2, serum urea, serum creatinine; number 3, serum thyroid levels, as hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism both can be associated with resistant hypertension. Number 4, renal Doppler, then ECG or echocardiography, then serum cortisol level, aldosterone, renin ratio, serum or urinary metanephrine level. Now we will go to the next step in which we need to optimize antihypertensive regimen in such patients. So patient needs to take 3 different classes of antihypertensive therapy at optimal dosage. Number 1, ACE inhibitors or ARB. Number 2, calcium channel blockers, that is long acting calcium channel blocker, that is amlodipine. Number 3, thiazide like diuretic, for example chlorthalidone or indapamide. Now if the blood pressure is not controlled despite of taking these medicine, then we need to add mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist, that is spironolactone. It is started at a dosage of 25 mg OD, and if BP is not controlled, we can titrate it to 50 mg OD. We need to monitor serum potassium levels and serum creatinine in such patients who are started on spironolactone. And if spironolactone is not tolerated, then we can consider eplerenone or amiloride. And if the blood pressure is still not controlled despite putting patient on spironolactone, then we need to consider adding other antihypertensive therapy, which may be as follows: number 1, alpha blocker; number 2, beta blockers; number 3, loop diuretic; number 4, centrally acting antihypertensive drug, that may include moxonidine. Now what is refractory hypertension? We use the word refractory hypertension when patient blood pressure is not controlled despite of putting him on 5 or more antihypertensive drug, including a diuretic, and mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist. It is a rare entity. It represents true pathophysiologic resistance. Thank you.